Good morning, everyone. Welcome to History is Lunch. I am Chris Goodwin with the Mississippi Department of Archives and History. We'll get started in just a minute here. If you have not already, please silence your cell phones. We are here in the Craig H. Nielsen Auditorium of the two Mississippi Museums. There is a promotion going on that you should know about. Entergy Mississippi has, in commemoration of their 95th birthday, sponsored free admission to both museums throughout the month for the first 95 people to come each day. So if you have not come to the museums yet, if you have not joined to become members and come, then take advantage of that. Come see what you have been missing. And then also, we want to thank the Mississippi Historical Society, who have co-sponsored this program today and made it possible. The Historical Society has a long and close relationship with the Department of Archives and History, really lobbied the legislature to form the State Department of Archives and History. They are responsible for the online publication Mississippi History Now, and they help with the Journal of Mississippi History newsletter. There are brochures for membership that can be picked up over there. You can also join online, thanks to them, and encourage you to take a look at that. And then last, I want to invite you all to be here next week for History's Lunch when George Malvaney will discuss his new University Press of Mississippi book, Cups Up: How I Organized a Clavern, Plotted a Coup, Survived Prison, Graduated College, Fought Polluters, and Started a Business. There'll be plenty there. One of my favorite live music programs in the state is the Great Big Yam Potatoes Old Time Music Festival and Fiddle Contest that's held each year down at Jefferson College. Historic Jefferson College is a property that the Department of Archives and History administers in Washington, Mississippi, just a few miles outside Natchez. And last year, maybe the year before, the Natchez Democrat did a newspaper article on Great Big Yam Potatoes, but the reporter referred to it in the story as a bluegrass festival. And all of the folks involved with the Great Big Yam Potatoes Old Time Music Festival winced and commenced to talking bad about them. And I thought, well, now there's a nice opportunity for a program. So I called up Tim Avalon, who is everybody's first choice for multi-instrumentalist in music history regarding old-time music in Mississippi. And he has brought together Susan Farley and Jamie Weems with him today to talk about, and more important, to play the differences between old-time music and bluegrass. Help me welcome Tim Avalon, Susan Farley, and Jamie Weems.
A good speaker. I'm more of a picker than I am a speaker. But I started off with an Irish jig. Y'all know what that was? That's an Irish jig. And it kind of leads you into where old-time music came from. There's a lot of debate about that. But if you look deep enough, it originates from the immigrants coming over from Ireland, Scotland, Europe. They all brought their instruments when they came over, and their grandfathers played, and all this fiddle music is really based on dance music. And so that's basically what all fiddle music is based on. Every Every country has some type of bowed instrument or pipe instrument or whistles or something, but it's basically a folk tradition, oral tradition, where you had to go to somebody to learn how to play like that, or your grandfather taught you. See what I'm saying? So when they came over here and they settled, the Scots, especially the Scots and Irish, they would settle at the Appalachian Mountains because it reminded them of home because of the mountains. So, of course, you can get lost up in there. So you got a lot of isolation. And so the theory is that the older generation brought the music over, and they passed away. And if you didn't learn while your grandfather or your father was alive playing, you wanted to learn to play, well, you had to go see somebody. You might be 2 days ride before you could go learn some fiddle tunes or stuff like that, and by the time you got back, you might have forgotten what he taught you. So you had to fill in the DNA. So a lot of the traditional way, Irish music, Scottish, Cape Breton music got kind of straightened out and didn't have all that fancy stuff in it. And so there you go. You got old time music being played. It was more like a community service because you had dances, square dances. Y'all know what a square dance? I know she does. And so y'all remember any square dances? Y'all ever go to any square dances in a long time ago? I've got a couple of hands raised. So what we're going to do is going to play a little bit of square dance music. They also had songs. I'm going to get Susan to sing some. And Jamie Weems played the mandolin and sing. And they used a variety of instruments. And we're going to try in these couple of songs here to pick a few different instruments. It all started off with the fiddle, of course. It's the head. And he's the boss when you had a gig or go play for a square dance. He called out the tune and what tune he wanted to play. And the guitar was basically a backup. The mandolin came in later. It was basically a backup. But right now, we're going to try to feature some of it. It also had singing tunes. So we're going to get... Oh, excuse me. We're going to do a fiddle tune first. I'm getting ahead of myself. I told you I wasn't a very good speaker. We're going to do one called the Hangman's Reel. It's a square dance number. All right, that's called a square dance, a hold down or a breakdown, or it could be called a reel. Got any questions? Not yet. We're going to get Sue to sing you a ballad, and I'm going to let her explain this.
One of the things about the migration from Europe to this country separated families at a time when communication was practically impossible, or very, very long periods of time occurred in between being able to hear any news at all about your family. And one of the recurring themes that you see in old-time music, in the ballads especially, is a longing for home, or talking about being a long way from home. And so this song that I'm going to sing for you demonstrates a lot of good things about old-time music. The topic is A Distant Land to Roam. That's the name. So it's talking about being far from home. Another thing that old-time musicians did was occasionally they would vary their rhythm to make it fit the words. So they didn't always keep a square, kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of beat. If the words needed 5, 6, or 7 beats, then they put that in there. And so we call those tunes crooked. So this has a little bit of a crooked flavor to it as well when we sing it. I have a surgeon cousin back in West Virginia, where I'm originally from, who said that he didn't know that that was just so much a characteristic of the music of the time. He just thought those old boys didn't know how to count. Make sure I'm not offending your ears. Take that keyboard off.
Those darn capos.
I'm gonna change it.
Got to tune it every time you put it on.
We had one friend who did not care for the tuning process, and his motto was, our friend did not care for the tuning process, and his motto was, if you have to tune, it's not old time.
And a lot of the folk ballads were actually a cappella. You know, didn't have a guitar or anything. They just, the grandmothers would sing it to the daughters, and it was passed on really through the women, mostly.
I remember very well on a dark and dreary day, just as I was leaving home for a distant land to roam. Mama said, my dear child, I hope to see you next year again. Fare you well, fare you well. So I left my dear old home for a distant land to roam.
All right. She wants me to sing one now. I'm gonna sing one that I got from old time musician Norman Blake, and it was a lot of the songs were rough and rowdy songs. I hope y'all enjoy it. It's called "If I Lose." Went to a fiddle tune called Bonaparte's Retreat. I can't walk, but neither can I talk. Just got back from the state of New York one morning before day. Flossie, Flossie, what is the matter? Walked all the way from old Cincinnati one morning before day. And if I lose, don't let me lose. Lord, I don't care how much I lose. If I lose $100, well, I'll run away tonight, 'cause my baby, she keeps money all the time. Spaniards, well, I was fighting that one morning before day. If I lose, don't let me lose. Lord, I don't care how much I lose. If I lose $100, well, I'm trying to win tonight, 'cause my bitch keeps money all the time. Well, see, much. Did y'all catch the official way of stopping the song? That's the old time way. So, first of all, yeah, the fiddle player is usually the leader at a square dance. He calls tunes out and what he wants to play, and then you got what you call a clawhammer banjo. You know what a clawhammer banjo is? Well, let me go get one.
Banjo, of course, is we know was brought from Africa, and so it was incorporated into the. Tim, do you need to get the microphone?
I can't hold the banjo and talk at the same time. Show them. See, it's open back. Bluegrass banjo has a resonator on it. You can't see the open part. And this is it's made out of maple, and it's got usually in the old days it was like a calf head or goat skin, whatever they could fashion a skin out of some kind of animal. And they have what they call scoop, so you can get your hand up in here like this and get a real metal sound, not get a good sound. And let's see. Some had frets, like this one. Some of them didn't have frets at all. Some of them had like pegs like a violin, the old ones, first ones made. They didn't have tuners like this. These are more modern. They had the old, like a violin tuner. What else? Let's see. Oh, some of them even had little pieces of metal about up to here. And it got a kind of metallic sound when they played. And most time, clawhammer banjos rarely play out of the first 5 frets. You see what I'm saying? So, and this is called, of course, a oral tradition too. You had to go watch someone play it to learn it. So we're going to do. Why don't you tell them what we're going to do? Angela.
We're going to do another fiddle tune called Angeline the Baker.
Indeed. This is what you call tuning the old-fashioned way, without a tuner. like the early square dances, they probably just had a fiddle player. He was the dude that you call when you had a dance on Saturday night. And then probably came along clawhammer banjo, like this one, probably not as fancy as this. And then later came the guitar, and then later on came in string bands. It was the bass and the mandolin came a little later, probably in the turn of the century. And I don't know. So what time we got there? What time we have? 25 after. We're almost. We need. I don't think we're gonna have time for all that. I say we're fixing to morph into a couple of tunes here. First one was by the Memphis Jug Band. We're going to show the blues influence on the bluegrass going into the next section, and doing a tune called "Stealin'." It was by the Memphis Jug Band. They were out of Memphis, and they had recorded a lot of tracks. They were an all-black string band, and we're going to do another tune right after that. It's a fiddle tune. One of the southern repertoire of a fiddle player was that he could play blues tunes, and the blues tune was the tune that you could really show out your stuff. See what I'm saying? Because it used other notes rather than just the major scale. So we're going to do it's kind of morph into bluegrass. See, because bluegrass has a lot of blues influence in itself. And we're going to do Stealin', and the Carroll County Blues was a Mississippi tune written by named William Narmore from Carroll County. And it's called Carroll County Blues. You want to kick her off there? Let me go put this up. Go ahead.
'Cause I'm stealing back to my same old used to be.
Carroll County Blues. Carroll County Blues, stealing. Now we're kind of going to show you what bluegrass is all about, so you can see. Now that you've had a big taste of that, it's pretty obvious. All right, what's our first one?
Sitting on top of the world.
All right, we're gonna have to get the muscle banjo. A lot of muscle play this one. This is what you call a bluegrass banjo. As you can see, if you don't pick it up just right, you can get a hernia. All right. I knew they could hear me. There you go. This is a bluegrass banjo. Can you hold that for me? Try to put my picks on and save time. And who made this type of banjo popular? The banjo actually comes from Africa. Africans brought it over as and they were the shape of gourds with 3 to maybe 4 strings on it. Is that right, Hap?
He said 2 to 4.
Huh?
He said 2 to 4.
2 to 4. That sounds good, don't it? The air conditioning kind of gets them all out of tune. As you can see, it has a big resonator on the back, makes it real loud. So you might want to get a couple of earplugs because it's a loud instrument. And it's got frets, and it's usually just like clawhammer banjos. You can retune them. You tune them to different tunings. And bluegrass banjos they very seldom change the tuning. It's mostly played out of G. And if you want to play an A, you put a capo on and so on. But it's got it's real heavy because of the resonator and the pot. The pot is the round thing, made out of a big hunk of wood. So it gets the sound that they wanted. And the father of bluegrass music is actually comes from Bill Monroe. Familiar with Bill Monroe? He's from Kentucky. And he was searching for a sound back in the 30s and the 40s. And he was putting in the instrumentation was a fiddle, guitar player, and of course Bill played the mandolin, the kind that Jamie Weems has got right there, F style, with the scroll. and an upright bass. But took him a while to find out a good sound for the banjo. He tried clawhammer banjos, but you notice the clawhammer banjo is kind of soft. Got a nice soft tone to it and everything. It's not real loud, but it's nice, pleasing. So he tried different banjos players. I think one was String Bean. You remember String Bean on the Grand Ole Opry? Well, he played in his band for a while, but just the clawhammer banjos just wasn't doing it for him. So then I think he ran into actually Don Reno first, and Don was going to be, and he liked that because he could use his fingers. See, clawhammer, you don't use picks. You just hit down. You hit down with your fingers, with the nail at the top of the nail. See. So you didn't really get a real good loud sound, but they started putting picks on there and started finger picking. Of course, there's documentation of people using their fingers like that way before bluegrass. Don't think that bluegrass was the first ones to use the fingers, but it was Don Reno and Earl Scruggs. Lester Flatt. You ever heard of Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs? The Beverly Hillbillies. Well, it was Earl's style of the way he played it was what Bill really liked, and Lester was the guitar player when he joined. So he got both of them. That became the Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys. And, of course, the rest is history. Of course, in bluegrass, the traditional vocal thing is really, it's men trying to sing 4 or 5 steps above what their normal voice range would be. I'll demonstrate that for you, but not at this song. So we're going to play you a tune that was from by the Mississippi Sheiks, which is another black string band, which is real popular back in the 20s. Recorded a lot. Y'all can look them up. They're great. Got fiddle player, guitar player. Did they have a mandolin player, I think? Every now and then. But this is called Sitting on Top of the World. And all the bluegrass bands play a version of this. All right. Let's see if I can remember how to play this. It was in the spring, one sunny day. My good gal left me, Lord, she ran away. Now she's gone and I don't worry. You notice how I kick it off? Usually an instrument in bluegrass. In old time music, everybody plays the melody. If you're a melody player, which is like the fiddle, mandolin can play it, banjo can play it, and they all. It's like everybody plays the melody. Everybody plays the guitar is usually back up. It's kind of like in Irish music. Irish music, when you go to see an Irish session or something, everybody's playing the melody, except for like the bouzouki. They have bouzouki and a guitar. They'll just be playing backup. But in bluegrass, it's more of a performance music, where it's like a performance, just like we just did. It's not dance music, although in some of the fiddle tunes you can dance to, because they're fiddle tunes. But you notice how Jamie took a break and I took a break? Well, that's the difference in one of the differences in old time and bluegrass is that old time is more communal kind of. Everybody sits down and plays, and bluegrass is more of a performance kind of thing. And they have 3-part harmony and that kind of stuff like that. So what are we going to do next? Yeah, let's do it. Sue's going to sing you another song, and it's called...
This song is called Those Memories, and I believe I picked this one up off a bluegrass album with Dolly Parton and Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris called Trio. So I hope you enjoy it. Tim's going to get a dobro. I think he'll have to tell you a little bit about the dobro before we begin.
Let me explain something about it. Just trying to touch on most of the instruments. Trying to touch on most of the instruments in the bluegrass band. They added this later on when Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs joined. When they broke off from Bill, they started Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. And they got Uncle Josh Graves played dobro. So dobro became one of the instruments to have in a bluegrass band. And it's the square neck kind, not the round kind. You can't play it like a guitar. You have to play it on your lap, and you play with this bar here. And you slide it up and down, play the notes like this, I can't do it with microphone in my hand. And you can get all kind of sounds, bluesy sounds, pretty sounds. So we're going to do a song with this so you can get a kind of feel of what this is. All right, hit a G chord for me. Hit your G. ahead, son. Notice, did you notice how all the interplay and in between while she's singing and everything? You know, so bluegrass, old time, you don't do that much. You don't really do that. You just, you sing your ballad and you play a whole lot less. But in bluegrass, you fill in every instrument will take a different verse or a chorus and do what they call filling in. But try not to stand on the vocals too much. Don't get in the way. And that's an art in itself. So a lot of bluegrass is all about the instruments working inside the vocals, and then doing your solos. Everybody gets a solo. Like when you go to a bluegrass jam, you're going to have a big circle, and they're going to play one song. If you have 10 people there, they're going to go point to you for you to do your solo. And then they point to the next guy. Then they point to the next guy, and they may sing another verse. And then they point to the next guy. So you may be standing there for like 10 times around before you even get a chance to play. So what are we going to wind up with? What time is it? Got 10 minutes. We got to wind it up. All right. We're going to do a vocal tune, another vocal tune. All right. We got to do a Bill Monroe song, so we're going to do Tennessee Blues. That's a Bill Monroe song, and Jamie's going to explain it.
So this is in the key of A. But no, the way that I understand where Bill Monroe got some of his sound was that I guess in some of the mill working communities up in like Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, those parts of the country, that there was a lot of African and European traditions coming together, swapping songs, talking about music, working in the same environment. And I think Bill Monroe got some of his sound from learning some things about the guitar from an African musician. So throughout his career, there's always a lot of kind of blues tinge to a lot of what he does, both in the way that he sang and also the way he played the instrument. And I guess one more thing I held up another mandolin earlier that didn't have the scroll. So I think this is an interesting little story. I'll make it real quick. So around the time when the banjo player came into Bill Monroe's band, he found a mandolin that was made like this one that was real different from every mandolin that had come before. It just so happened that Gibson was making these mandolins right before mandolin fell out of favor, and they stopped making them, but they're the best mandolins ever made, and Bill Monroe found one in a barbershop, picked it up and played it, and that kind of became a central part of the sound of his band that changed string band music, turned it into bluegrass, I guess.
Or Tennessee Blues, excuse me. All right, this is a gospel tune. In bluegrass music, they always include one or two gospel tunes in their shows, and some shows is all gospel. So it's a big part of it. And we're gonna end the show with before we start answering questions, a tune that Sue sings.
He knows it as well as I do. It's called Who Will Sing For Me? And we thought it was rather appropriate to end with this one, thinking about this traditional music, that if we don't watch out, it's going to be lost, and we need to everybody just keep on singing for the traditional music and the bluegrass, and let's keep it alive.
Yeah, one day the traditional music will be singing, "Who will sing for me?"
Oft I sing for my friends when death's cold hand I see. When I reach my journey's end, who will sing a song for me?
All right, give a hand to Susan Farley here
Well,
and Jamie
we may have
Weems.
blown past our time for question and answer, but I don't think anybody objects to that. It was time well spent. If you enjoyed this and would like to be kept apprised of other programs in the series, there's a sheet over here that you can sign up. We'll send you one email a week. If you enjoyed this and do not feel like one time was enough, you can watch it anytime from the department's Facebook feed. We live stream it from the camera at the back. Tell your friends about that as well. And if you enjoyed this and do not feel like you got enough of these three fine folks, you can join them and other like-minded individuals, not this weekend, but next weekend, for the Great Big Yam Potatoes Old Time Music Festival and Fiddle Contest at Historic Jefferson College. There are a couple of posters over here, and you're welcome to pick those up and take them with you. And there are brochures for Jefferson College as a reminder of where it is, how to get there. But now, thank you all for coming. Help me thank the fabulous Jamie Weems, Tim Avalon, and Susan Farley.